sides of what the industry is doing and how to conduct our business going forward will be probably a lot different than what we've seen in the past. So we're going to go over what the next 90 days will look like for us. So what do people seek in chaos? Commonalities. They want something comfortable. They want to know everything's going to be okay. So why is this an opportunity for us? We're going to learn a little bit about that. We're going to know how to show up in chaos and how to pivot our business. We're going to look at what the next 90 days for our business should look like. And then we're going to give you some social media ideas at the end. And we want this to be interactive. So if you have questions, concerns, or otherwise, please let us know and we'd be happy to answer them. If we don't know the answers, we certainly will find the answers for you. There's nothing worse than having anybody give you the wrong answer, especially in the mortgage industry. So we will make sure to find the right one. So here we were pre-COVID in the mortgage industry. We were driving a race car going 95 million miles an hour down the highway. And then all of a sudden last year, around February, beginning of March, everything came to a stop. And everybody said, well, now what are we gonna do? How are we gonna pivot our business? So COVID-19 for everyone has kind of been like a car accident. You know, you have a car accident when you're getting on I-4 and you're at a complete stop and you don't know what to do. And that's kind of what happened to us initially when COVID hit. And so what we're here today to do is kind of give all of you a little guide as to what we can do going forward that's going to make us successful and stand out in the industry. Because now more than ever, we have to stand out because we are a relationship business. Mm-hmm. And we don't want to end up having the Zillows and the Realtor.coms of the world taking over our business because they have such a social media presence. So we're going to go over 3 categories. And there's 3 types of people. So there's the adapters. Those are the ones that literally roll with the tide. I don't know how long all of you have been in the industry. Just for those of you that are in here, how long have you been? So 5 years. Okay. 7 years. And Jeff at Movement has been doing mortgages 22 years, and I have been doing mortgages 21 years. So we've seen the tides go in and we've seen the tides go out. Mm-hmm. So in 2006, we knew we had to readapt and reinvent the wheel in the industry. And we're having to do that again. It's not a housing crisis, and we'll get into that later, but there is a crisis and it's COVID. So there's the adapters that learn how to adapt in this environment. There's the ones that are on the fence that are like, I'm not doing video. No way, Jose. I'm not doing live stream Facebook, ads. So those are the ones that are kind of on the fence. And there's the ones that shut down and have literally shut down and decided that they are going to stay and hunker down at home as if it were a hurricane in Florida in August. So those are the 3 different types of people that are really making decisions on what they decide to do. So that kind of leads me to say what Charles Swindoll says: life is 10% what happens and 90% how you respond. So that's a good question. How are we going to respond to these new times? There's some people that go to the grocery store and absolutely refuse to wear a mask. But then there's the other ones that absolutely know it's critical to wear a mask so that they don't get others sick and vice versa. So our mindset really dictates our thinking strategies. So if you change what you think about, the things you think about change. So that's very, very, very true. So set your intentions. I highly recommend, if you have not read this book, The Miracle Morning, absolutely read the book. It's amazing. I've been getting into audibles a lot lately, and this is one that I would say is amazing to get into. Another one is time traps. And we're going to talk a little bit about time blocking in a little bit, but really those books are great. So take care of you, have some quiet time, make sure you continue to exercise, meditate, and if you're a prayer, pray. Here we go with the time blocking. Your calendar matters. I don't know how often, I mean, like, do you guys set up lead gen to where you're doing 2 hours where you're intentionally lead genning every single day?
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to.
I'll tell you, it works. It works. I hired a business coach at the end of last year, and she has really gotten on me about working the business and not having the business work me and getting out of the admin type of roles and really intentionally do those lead genning.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly recommend that. I also have a time blocking calendar that's geared towards agents. If you guys are interested in us sending it to you after,
Sure.
we'd be happy to do that, because, and I can just send it to you, Thomas.
Yeah, I'll forward it to everybody else.
It's the one I've been using. And it's amazing how many times during the day we catch ourselves looking at our phone, looking at our email, when we're really supposed to be doing that lead generation. We all do it.
Mm-hmm.
So daily schedule for realtors. From 8 to 8:30, possibly do some lead generation preparation, preparing your contacts, your scripts, your materials, role play with all distractions eliminated. Do you guys do any role playing with each other?
No.
We've done some during like trainings here when we have somebody come in and talk about cold calling or whatnot. They'll do like a little role play exercise, but
Okay. Do you actually have realtor scripts for when you get on the phones?
yeah,
Okay.
we have some available on our website for the agents to use.
Cool. If you wanted some additional ones, I would be happy to share some of those as well. So 8:30 to 11, lead generation, utilizing your center of influences, your farming areas, maybe expired listings, for sale by owners. And I'm going to touch on for sale by owners a little bit. Jeff has access to financing signs. And all it says is special financing, and it says Jeff Tinch, and it has his phone number on it. And agents can stick it in the yard of the for sale by owner. So let me tell you how that works. And I'll tell you, not enough agents take advantage of this opportunity. So let's say you go and you're trying to establish a relationship with a for sale by owner, and you're just not making the traction that you need. What about if you could say to that for sale by owner, hey, my preferred lender has a financing sign, and they would be happy to come over and give you the financing sign to put in the yard. Because are you really making sure that the people that are interested in seeing your home, Mr. For Sale by Owner, are they really qualified?
Wow.
Right.
Well, now you have just established a rapport with this for sale by owner that you may not have had an opportunity to establish the rapport, because you're not doing anything but giving them a service at that point. But who's the first agent they're going to think of when the time comes? Then they're not selling for what they want to sell for. They're going to call you. And another twofold to that is only one buyer is going to buy that for sale by owner home.
Yeah.
So now Jeff just got you a pre-approved buyer that's going to go buy 123 Main Street down the street.
Absolutely.
So it's just a real win-win. And if more agents would utilize that opportunity, I think that we could capture a lot more for sale by owners up front, because you're establishing that relationship. So
I was
please.
gonna say, most for sale by owner signs you see, where are they from? Ace Hardware, and they're written in like pen, right? So you get a professional sign, you're gonna get something that's gonna brand kind of their home a little bit, and it's just gonna look a lot better, and it's gonna, people are gonna gravitate towards the sign, the information on it. Oh yeah, maybe I do need to get financing, rather than looking at a little sign that you might see that they got and just hand wrote for sale by owner on it. So I actually go to those houses and I go, look, I got this great signage, and I can professionalize the yards for you a little bit and attract buyers for you. And I go, it's free. You don't have to pay a dime for it. And then you can also parlay that into trying to help capture the realtor side business, because again, how many people are coming, just people out of nowhere, and realtors aren't driving the business to the house because it's for sale by owner. But So it's just tipping the scales just a little bit.
I've never
maybe.
seen those signs or.
Yeah, I have them all over. I actually did an experiment. I put one in my own yard, and I just literally got 100 calls. And I
That's
go,
great.
oh no, it's not this house, but it's this one over here, and it's crazy. It works. So yeah.
I had a loan officer once upon a time that had told me that he had actually put his house for sale so he could capture buyers and give them back to his agents.
Oh my.
I mean, whatever works, you know. So then we have, after you do the lead genning, you've got your just listed, your just sold, and all your business generation activities. And, you know, another one that's not even up there for lead genning, what about accountants? What about divorce attorneys? What about human resources departments? If you guys wanted to partner with Movement Mortgage and go into an HR department and tell them the benefits of having their employees actually buy a home instead of rent a home, the retention rate of an employee when they own a home next to where they work is like 60% more than somebody who is renting near their work. What a wonderful opportunity to get into HR departments.
Car dealerships are great too. BMW, Mercedes, Porsche. At the high-end car dealerships, there's salespeople all over that place, and they all need houses.
Yeah. And their financial person that's actually getting people approved for those cars. I've done a couple of loans for them that way.
Yeah,
So that works.
you got to have a nice new house to park your nice new car in.
Yeah, exactly. So from 11 to 12, business servicing, responding to emails, working your text and calls, service your listings, your buyers, and your pending transactions. I will tell you, when I listed and sold one of my homes once upon a time, the agent team that sold the home for me, they called me every single Monday with an update. Every single Monday I got an update, and it was so nice and so professional. So to just take 1 hour of your time blocking day just to update your clients is huge. So that would be from 1 to 2. I didn't mention lunch, but of course, you know, that's, you either do a working lunch or you go out with a friend or whatever, or even a client for that matter. Follow up with potential listings from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, respond to emails, text, and calls, service listings, buyers and pending transactions, and then from 3 to 6, listing appointments and showing property. And I do see that most of the top agent teams that we work with are sticking to the 3 to 6 listing appointments and showings, which is great. And I do see also that some of them will actually put on their voicemail that after 6 p.m., I will not be returning phone calls till the next business day. And then that way their clients aren't calling them at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I say that, but I don't live that rule.
Yeah, it's
And I don't think Jeff
it
does
depends
either.
on, you know, where you're at in the transaction. I mean,
Sure.
there's a million things. That,
Yeah, it sounds great in theory, but anyway.
This little sheet, since I can't see that far, can that be sent to Thomas so that we can have
He
that?
has it, yes, and we would be happy to.
'Cause-
And then I will get you the blank time blocking sheets as well, so that you have access to those, and then you can kind of, I would first, don't change your time blocking day, just see what you're doing all day. And I did that for the first week, and I was like, oh my goodness, I am wasting so much time on email and text and all of the things that could be avoided if I just kept it to a couple hours. If you call my voicemail at any given time, every single day I change my voicemail around 6 a.m. And it says what hours we'll be returning phone calls. If you called it right now, you'd hear it. Every day I would recommend changing your voicemail and say what hours you will be available returning phone calls. Because it might be different from one day to the next.
And it's a 7-day-a-week job. We all know that. So I work 7 days. She works 7 days. So
Definitely.
that obviously can be modified to fit a Saturday or Sunday.
Right.
But that's why I think the symbiotic relationship that mortgage professionals and realtors have is that we all work the same hours pretty much. We have to.
If
'cause
you're working, we're
we're
working.
7-Eleven, man. We're open every day. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I say. So
And I'm sure a lot of you saw this on social media. So I had to post it because it's kind of funny. So day 1 of parenting in coronavirus, oh, she's happy and chipper. And by day 3, not so much. And I think at times we have all felt that during this. So what do people seek during chaos? We kind of talked about it a little bit, but we're going to kind of dive deep into it. So people want context. They want to put things into context. And they also want to have the confidence. They want to know that everything's going to be okay. So we have to make a decision on how we want to feel and what we want to do. And I love this picture. Opportunity. There's so much opportunity out there. Our market last year thrived more. I can't tell you how many agents I've talked to that said they had their best year ever last year, even during a pandemic. That's amazing.
nuts.
Really.
It's
Right. But I truly believe that if it weren't for the housing market, our economy would be in a disarray right now. And the housing market is truly, in my opinion, what has reduced inflation. And so I believe, and you believe, that rates will stay low through this year because they need to.
Yeah.
We need to keep the housing market going because we do have 3 million people in forbearance right now not paying their mortgages, and millions of people that are unemployed. But the sky's the limit, so we put a lighthouse in here. So three requirements: be willing, have the desire, adapt, and have the ability, have the skills. There's something to be said for being the knowledgeable agent in all areas of selling. And I don't mean necessarily approving clients for mortgages, but if you know they're a veteran, we would want to know that that's 100% financing for a veteran and no mortgage insurance. Those kind of little tips. And we could do a mortgage 101 class as well. I don't know, for the newer agents, or even a brush up on what guidelines are doing now, because it's very different post-COVID with self-employed
Right.
borrowers than it was before. So willing, ready, eager, or prepared to do something. Adapt, become adjusted to our new conditions. And I love Charles Darwin. It's not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but rather the one most adaptable to the change. Possession of the means or skills to do something is ability. So now we're going to dive into how are we going to communicate? Because we have to communicate during this time. Nothing more wonderful than getting a phone call from somebody that I call people 5 past customers every single day. That's part of my lead genning. And they are so thankful that we picked up the phone just to say, hey, I just wanted to check on you. How are you guys doing?
Yeah.
How are the kids? So picking up that old-fashioned phone goes a long, long way. But I bet your phones don't look like that though anymore. The imparting or exchanging of information or news is communication. So we're going to dive into communicating and how you're really going to make traction with communicating with your clients, with potential clients, with your friends, with your family. Today's communication tools. Video. How many of you guys are doing videos currently? You are? Okay. I love it. You know how many times yeah. Every time I walk into a room and I ask agents who's using video, normally it's not very many. Not very many. Some of them are using social media, some of them are not. Do you guys pick up the phone and call past customers and call potential? Yeah.
Yep.
The phone is really, really important, especially now, even if it's just to check in. So if you're not doing videos, when are you going to start doing videos? That's, for you guys, that's not really a question. Maybe for Jeff. Jeff's going to start doing videos.
It's easy.
Yeah.
I started out just talking to myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know, because you kind of make these funky faces
Oh,
at
yeah.
first, you know, and so you just, you know, kind of, and it goes good now.
Yeah.
I
Good.
did one a couple weeks. I guess maybe it's been about 10 days now. Short little text message video.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, yeah.
Sent it to them. So it would be a text message, but it would be like maybe a 30-second or whatever. Just hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
But they're seeing your face, and maybe it's a little bit more than just say hi, how are you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So what service do you use to do that?
AT&T.
Yeah.
Oh, you just like
I just-
individually. So you individualize.
Yes,
it.
and so
Okay.
I'm trying to think of how, if you just recorded a general one and then can shoot it off, but right now I'm doing it individually, like,
Okay.
hi Mary Sue, how are you doing? You
Right,
know,
right.
you know, how's the puppy or whatever.
Sure.
But there's other, it's one of the conversations I'm having with Thomas later on how to do this more in bulk,
Sure.
where it's not so generic, where they're going to go, oh, that's generic.
So BombBomb.
I know, and I haven't befriended BombBomb yet.
Okay. Yeah, BombBomb has been a huge resource. Thomas, just out of curiosity, since we've got others on the call as well, who would you recommend?
For
What
video
service?
stuff,
Yeah.
I think BombBomb's. So you can do it however you want to do it. There's free ways. There's, you know, it's always comes back to time versus money.
Yeah.
Is kind of the thing.
Yeah.
BombBomb is a service that is literally made to do video through email. It's great.
I love
So
it.
it's going to be super simple to use, but there is a cost involved as always.
Sure.
And then of course you can always just do it through your own email, but then you have to go through the process of uploading those to YouTube or using some other service to upload them to.
Sure.
So yeah, BombBomb's easiest. That's what I recommend if you want to just go that way.
Yeah, but the little text things, there was no uploading to YouTube. It was just basically
Text? What do you mean?
I text videoed.
Oh, you text videos. Okay. Yeah.
So like on my camera, I would just do a selfie video, blah, 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 and then send to.
And you can do the same thing with BombBomb. You can do mass text from the BombBomb.
Yeah.
You can text, you can blast it to your social media, you can put it on groups, and you can also, I mean, you can do it, but you pay for the service.
Yep.
Right.
And there's kind of nice little, like if you wanted to I call and sing every past customer happy birthday. And at the end I say, aren't you glad I'm your mortgage professional and not a singer? And they always laugh. I think it's so funny.
Yeah.
So I recommend doing those kind of things. Like you could do a video that has a border around it that says happy birthday. And you could send it as an email and customize it to that particular person through BombBomb. Yeah, it's cool. So which is more important, results or reach?
Reach.
So who is this?
We all
It's
know.
Michael Phelps. Everybody knows Michael Phelps. He's had hundreds of, probably thousands of awards. I don't even know. But he's got a whole lot of them around his neck. Well, he makes sure that everybody knows who he is. He has a huge presence within the media, within social media. He gets himself out there.
Now he was the swimmer, right?
He was. By the time he retired in 2016, at the age of 31, he had 23 golds and 3 silvers and 2 bronzes at the Olympics. It's amazing.
Notice those are all gold.
And he
great
was.
abs.
I don't even know how he's
But he
standing up.
wanted everyone.
That gold on his neck, right?
So who is this?
Well, it says Jenny Thompson.
It says Jenny Thompson, but guess what? Between 1992 and 2004, she won more Olympic medals than any other female swimmer in history. And she competed in 4 Olympics, winning a total of 12 medals, including 8 golds, but no one knows who she is. It's crazy. So my question for you guys is, are you a secret agent?
No.
No,
think
no.
so.
You want everybody to know who you are. You want to go everywhere you go. You want everyone to know that you are selling real estate, because everybody has to have a place to live. So don't be a Jenny Thompson. Be a Michael Phelps.
Did she approve that message?
Probably not. Probably not. So now is the time to show up and be in front of your sphere of influence. So, number of agents contacted before selecting one to assist with the sale of their home. So, unbelievably, 75% of people pick the first agent that they communicate with. 75%. And then it goes down to 15%, the second agent,
Wow.
8% for the third, 2% for the second, and 1% for 5 or more. But on my honest opinion, if they've talked to 5 different agents, they're probably not buying a home anyway.
Yeah.
But you want to be
Seems like
number
they're the
one.
problem.
Yeah, exactly. They're probably not pre-approved. Call Jeff.
Yeah.
Right.
So here we go. And I bring this up, and I brought it up in the very beginning, but we don't want Zillow and Realtor.com to take all of our business. So
They will if
They will.
Laura has it their way.
they will. So with the analytics that they have and everything else, and sponsored ads and all the things that they pay for to be number one and be the number one search engine when somebody is looking to buy a home, we've got to get ahead of that curve. So when I could teach a class on doing Facebook Live videos, but I'm just going to touch a blurb on that for a moment. People that do videos, you're going to stand out on social media presence way more than somebody who just posts about them and their dog and, hey, I'm selling real estate.
Mm-hmm.
These videos will analytically put you to the top of the news thread. If you don't have a YouTube video page, like a YouTube channel, I highly recommend getting one. Anytime you guys want to do a video and just talk about the importance of maximizing the equity in your home right now, because the interest rates are so low, and how you could potentially become an investor by using the equity in your home now, we can do those kind of videos with you. And we can create a YouTube channel for you if you don't have one in 5 minutes. It's pretty simple to do. Because, and back to my get off my soapbox, we don't want Zillow to take over, and that's clearly, keeping you informed on how to handle buying, selling, renting, or just nesting at home as we adapt to life during COVID. So you want to be the one that everybody sees on that social media. Only a life of lived in the service of others is worth living, and that was Albert Einstein. So you really want to be of service. So if you're stuck at home, why not put a video on social media that says, stuck at home, these 12 famous museums offer virtual tours you can take on your couch. Or how about you go down to the Orange County Civic Center, they're about to do a big dinosaur exhibition, and everybody gets to stay in their cars. But how about go down there, see if you can interview the manager there. You're getting exposure. You're doing a live broadcast on your social media platform telling everybody to come out to that event. And then you look like the number one hero to the convention center, helping their businesses thrive, because everybody is having a challenge with getting people to come out of their houses. So thinking outside of the box for those kind of things would be huge. So be of service. Just post something on your social media that says, what's your favorite family board game? Here's our favorites. And then put what your favorite board games are, and get people interactive on your social media. I see all the time sponsored ads from agents that'll say, which kitchen do you like better? Do you like this one that's the old contemporary? Do you like this one that's in a cabin up in the mountains? The one that's at the beach house? And you think about those agents that you see those ads from. You know who's posting that stuff regularly.
I know, but I do that, and I'll tell you what, you don't get the clicks that you think. And if you do, it's a like. You never get any contact information where they actually interacted. Very, very few do I ever get from those.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you said that. Do you guys have an internal website, or do you guys pay a service for your websites?
We have an internal website, yeah.
You
They
do?
all use, yeah.
Okay, so we have something called Lead Pops. Do you guys know what Lead Pops is?
No.
Okay, so Lead Pops is a lead gen funnel where we can actually put a click bar on your website that says get pre-approved now, if they click on it, we capture their information. So we're contacting them. So it's a funnel. It's funneling it to get people driving more business. I highly recommend it. We just got the service, and it's amazing how many people are actually putting their name and information that we're able to contact to get back to you once they're pre-approved.
But when they get onto our website, they also have to put in their name and information if they want to search more property,
Okay.
right? So how does,
So if they don't put their name and their information in it, but yet they click the button that says get pre-approved, then it's just another way for you to possibly get their information. You know what I mean?
Services,
Yeah. What also LeadPops does for us is if analytically, if somebody goes to our social media, or not even our social media, if they go within a 50-mile radius of the office and they put in baby cribs, well, I'm just throwing something out there, baby cribs, divorce attorneys, wedding dresses, you know, those kind of things, they're going to get a sponsored ad. Just like when you go to look for bathing suits and all of a sudden, darn it, if you don't see every bathing suit from every manufacturer in your newsfeed.
Yeah.
Yes. So we pay for that service for our agents that are doing business with us regularly. And when we have an opportunity, we're giving back pre-approved buyers to our agents through that service. So I don't know very many loan officers that are giving leads that are pre-approved leads back to you guys, but we've been committed to making sure that we're not just always asking you guys for leads, that we're actually giving back to the people that are giving us business.
Okay.
So that's our commitment, especially in 2021. I was very intentional with making sure that we had those opportunities. So be of service. We can social distance together. You can say that there's, you know, you could post on social media that there's a COVID-19 support group. You could put some funny blog about social distancing with some toilet paper. I mean, just ideas of being different and outside of the box. Or you could say, look at this hairdo. Do you like the 2020 fashion hairstyle, or do you like the blonde or the black? Something funny about the kids being home and quarantined and doing homeschooling. I'm a big believer that mixing a little bit of professional business content and also something personal on your social media platforms is important, because they want to know that you're a real person, that you're not just the, you know, realtor guru of the world. And I actually had someone who I played bunco with, and I'm going to tell you a little personal story. I had only posted content about business for a very long time. And then I posted something very touching to me, and it had to do with my autistic son. And when I did that, and I saw the girl again, she said to me, I want you to know how cool I thought that was. And I said, what do you mean? She said, nobody really knows you on social media. Everybody knows that you do mortgages for a living. And I thought, wow. I mean, it kind of hurt my heart a little bit, but then at the same time, I thought, she's right. I'm always posting business stuff and not getting into my personal life. So being intentional with a little bit of personal and a little bit of business is always a good thing.
I would just say, you know, when you have like your photo up, you know, on your website or whatever, it's okay to put maybe you and your wife or your husband or your dogs or whatever. Because I ride bikes with my wife a lot when we train, so I'll put up, you know, something like me and her with our biking helmets on and our biking jerseys or whatever, just to say, oh look, they're cyclists or whatever, and I'll change it up a little bit so it's not just a headshot, you know. So
You should say something like, I will go the extra mile for you.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which you will. So being of service, maybe support, like we mentioned, support our local restaurants. Here's some local favorites offering takeout or delivery, buy gift cards, and maybe interview a manager. I'm actually going to do it from the mortgage world. Black Hammock had reached out in Seminole County, you know, and where they do like the airboat rides and those kind of things.
Okay.
Well, they're hurting for business right now. So next week, I'll do a live Facebook just repping Black Hammock. It's not going to have anything to do with mortgages. It's just going to be to drive business to their establishment, just to try to help them out. And in these kind of times, we need to be helping each other as much as we can. So be of service to any senior citizen or person too ill to go grocery shopping. Offer to go do their grocery shopping for them. And I've seen people doing that lately. And I think it's really, really cool. Really cool. So communicate, communicate, communicate. Back to that old telephone again. So social posting ideas, be of service. Recessions do not equal housing crisis. Slow down ahead. So how has the market been impacted by previous stock market crashes? So in 1980, so during the last 5 recessions, the housing market was up in the 80s, up in the 81s. 91, it was down. 2001, it was still up. And then in 2008, it went down 19.7%. But we're not in a recession, not yet. Annual home prices appreciation, just to kind of give you a little bit of history of where the appreciation numbers were going. 6 years leading up to the crash, you can see it was really steadily going up, 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 up. And then through 2019, the last 6 years, it was pretty anywhere from
steady,
4,
yeah.
pretty steady for the most part.
Wow.
But I want to say last year, and correct me if I'm wrong, because my stats might be wrong, but I think in 2020 it was up almost 12% again.
I just read on Aura, 16% Central Florida.
16%.
Because I've got that in my marketing right now.
Wow, it's amazing. So here we go with the current unemployment rates compared to past financial crises. And you can see here in the 1930s, the rate was like 8.7. And that was like the Great Depression. 1930 was the Great Depression, 1931, all during that time. And then you had the Great Recession in 2008, and it got bad, but it didn't get that bad. And then 2020 hit, and it was up to 15%. And it's probably down to like 11% now, I want to say. So unemployment rates and home sales do not have a direct relationship. But I have to say, I read this slide and I have a little bit of conflict with it. Because as unemployment rates continue to go up, I don't know that home sales will necessarily slow, but what will happen is there's going to be more inventory, because we're probably going to see, knock on wood, foreclosures and short sales. The moratorium announced that conventional conforming loans will no longer allowed to be in forbearance past January 31st. And FHA and VA, which is your government entities, have indicated it will be through February. And then after that, then foreclosure proceedings will be able to be started, and short sale proceedings.
So, not segueing, but going into detail a little bit more about that. So what are you in Movement Mortgage doing, or what is the general lenders doing about these mortgages that are not being paid? Are you asking for the whole lump sum past January 31st? Or are you working with the individual so that we know how to do our discussion when these folks are going, okay, I'm like 6 months past due now?
Sure. So at Movement, we service our own loans. So we will continue to service the loans going forward. Guidelines have gotten a little stricter, but somebody who's already in forbearance continues with their forbearance until they get caught up. But I will tell you, if they want to refinance a home that is in forbearance, they have to get 100% caught up before they can refinance.
Okay.
And now if they're selling, you're going to want to make sure that when you're doing that market comparable analysis, that you're factoring in what they're going to owe to get caught up, because that will be part of what they net out of the sale, because they do have to pay that off. It will be put on the back end of their loan.
Okay, so there's no way that's an individual being in forbearance that you can just move, let's say, just say 6 months worth of non-payment and just make the loan longer.
No, that would be a modification. That would be a loan modification.
Okay.
Different than a forbearance. Forbearance was geared just for COVID-19.
Right, now I
when it's
understand,
dropped.
but let's say,
Yeah.
for instance, they've been unemployed for 6 months,
Mhm.
and then they have now a new opportunity, but they can't pay that 6 months
Mhm.
because, you know, honestly, they're still
Sure.
at the same pay scale, we can say.
Mhm.
Would they then go and have a conversation with you guys and saying we need a modification?
They would.
I'm just saying.
They would.
When we talk to these individuals, they may
Mhm.
go, Lord help me, what are my options?
Sure.
And for us to go, did you talk to your lender about
Mhm.
a modification? Is that a possibility?
Sure.
So that we don't talk out of our back end.
Right, and that I would highly recommend that before they make any decisions that they talk to the lender. And I will tell you, I was doing some Facebook Live blasts to let people know what forbearance really meant, because a lot of people didn't realize that, hey, after 4 months or 6 months, whatever you agree upon, they're going to want that money lump sum. And I don't think a lot of consumers understood that,
No,
and I think
right.
it's put a lot of people in a bad position.
Mhm.
So I was trying to educate as many people as we could.
Right.
But
yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I did videos about it. And sent
Yeah.
them out.
But like you said, a lot of people were confused. They thought, oh, I'll just put it on the back end.
Yeah.
That's what
They didn't
I
know
got a
it
lot
meant
of those
4
questions.
months.
Mhm.
Right.
They were gonna owe it in lump
Right.
sum.
Right.
So let me ask you this. So there was forbearance and a deferral.
Mm-hmm.
So a deferral is tacked onto the back of the loan.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not being offered to them? It's either a forbearance, short sale, foreclosure, no deferral,
Mm-hmm.
or the only opportunity you're offering them is a modification, which
Does that
is-
come with closing costs? Does that come with any more fees?
It's been a long time since I've really dealt with modifications because everybody's been doing forbearances, but every lender is gonna have different qualifications regarding the modifications.
Cost usually isn't that much,
Mhm.
but it might be just standard title fees. But
But they'll have a very hard time after a loan mod to get a loan
Right,
away.
and that's
They
the
won't get a
thing.
mortgage.
yeah.
and especially if you're saying they're out of work for 6 months, I mean, they're not going to get
A mortgage.
technically a mortgage for their new home if they're
Now, if it's
planning on
4
selling.
months.
But I
Yes.
understand that a lot of those people that, 2008, that got the modifications end up losing their home anyway because of those back fees
Mhm.
that became so overwhelming to them that they just could not ever
Yeah.
get back to the place by
Right.
doing that modification.
So that's when I would say, get it in writing from the lender.
Mm-hmm,
Don't
exactly.
do anything
That's what
until
I
you
said.
get it in writing.
That's what I put in my video.
Yeah, for sure. So unemployment rate projections, of course, in 2020, we got up to 15%, and that was pre, and I'll break this down in a minute on the next slide, but that was pre restaurants opening back up. So it got up to 15% pre restaurants and travel and everything else. So 2021, 6.8% unemployment is the projection. 2022, 5%, and 2023, 4%. So it looks promising. Looks very promising. But here was kind of what happened in April of last year, just to get it into perspective a little bit. Look at how much of the pie was food service and drinking places. But guys, they're still hurting. I mean, they're still hurting. I go into some restaurants that used to be slammed at lunchtime, and there's barely anyone in there. So doing those live videos for places that you love to go, we might be the reason that they get to stay open if we tell everyone how great they are. I mean, if we can help at least a little bit. But you see accommodation industry, retail, trade, stores, temporary help services, child care. A lot of people aren't having their children go to child care. Healthcare office workers and construction workers. And we don't really think about all the people that have been impacted by it. This is the Great Recession for leisure, hospitality, trade, and transportation, in that this recession will feel as bad as the Great Recession did to housing. Last time housing led the recession, this time it's poised to bring us out. And I kind of said that in the beginning. I feel like we are what's keeping our economy thriving. And I can't thank you guys enough as realtors that even during the rough of it, you guys were still showing properties and found a way to pivot your business in another direction. And
Mask up.
yeah,
That's it.
I mean, we are forever thankful. I remember saying that on social media. Thank you to the realtors. You guys, I feel like you guys have been frontline workers in a lot of respects. So look for the peak of the housing market's annual cycle to be delayed, not canceled. So, you know, I think the biggest thing for us, especially in Florida, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that there's just not enough inventory.
No, not right now.
Yeah. How many houses are listed currently in Seminole County, roughly?
It's below 5,000. It's like 4,000 something.
Well, what is it normally? Like
8,000.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot.
And that's why we're seeing these bidding wars again. And the over asking price.
Oh, yeah, and then the appraisers are,
Making it difficult.
yes,
Yeah.
that would be a nice way of saying it.
So talking point, while there's no good time for a pandemic, this one comes after months of a record housing inventory shortage and a lack of available properties on the market. That's created a level of pent up demand that pushed last year's home sales to 5.77 million at an annual pace of a 13-year high. And from what I understand, here we are almost 1 year later from this slide, and our home sales for January, I mean, January hasn't come out yet, but December, our numbers were, do you guys know what they were roughly?
It was 11 or 12%.
Yeah. Wow.
Actually have it
For
right.
December. I mean, that's amazing. People are
Yeah.
busy now.
Price increased 10%. Sales increased 21%.
21%?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go to this next one. We do not expect a repeat of the severe recession of 2008, 2009, because the virus and oil stocks are not endemic to the financial systems, but are external. Once the virus infection rate peaks, we expect a recovery to gain momentum into the final quarters of this year and especially into 2021. And that came from Wells Fargo. And the data is a little bit older with these slides, but I will tell you, the economist from Movement Mortgage, we get on calls regularly, and they're telling us that rates are going to stay low and that we're going to have an amazing year in 2021 from a housing standpoint. Will we see a rise in foreclosures? So I believe, yeah, we will. But I wanted you to see what the Federal Housing Administration, which is FHA, indicated it's enacting the foreclosure and eviction moratorium that I mentioned to you guys. But that is now going to be up for conventional financing at the end of January. And FHA and VA are giving it until February, the end of February. And that was the CARES Act. And we're going to kind of go into forbearance forgiveness a little bit. And that was the CARES Act. Oh, I guess it's not going to let me do the video. That's weird. Oh, we'll move on.
Yeah, it's like a picture. It's not a video.
Huh. So here's your 30-day action plan. Gonna have to chip away at it. And this is the Chief Creating Officer, Mark Davidson. Turn your blog page into your homepage. Work up half a dozen timely, relevant posts answering the most pressing questions that your consumers have. This is the content that we're talking about, that people and clients need more of than just the home search or community info. So why not utilize your mortgage professionals and do a video talking about pulling out equity, again, equity from your current primary home to buy that investment property that's gonna give you a monthly income coming in from having a rental. I have a lot of people pulling out equity. I mean, I know you do too, pulling equity out, just even for a safety net as well. So what CRM do you guys use?
So United Real Estate has a proprietary one, but we also use KV Core.
Okay.
That's the main one we use.
Okay, good. So organize your CRM during this time. Put your buyers into a bracket of 1 to 3 months timeline. Put your not pre-approved people into a timeline, 3 to 6 months, 6 months plus. And if we're going to give you these slides. Thomas will send them to you.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
so that you have them. And then past clients. Somebody that referred 2+ people to you would be a VIP client. They're all VIP clients. We love our people, but I would literally rate like A, B, and C. Like an A, you want to do happy hours with your A's. You want to give them pies at Christmas time or at Thanksgiving time or whatever the case. But definitely know where your business is coming from your CRM, and then. For your sellers, are they ready to list now? Are they waiting until the springtime? Are they 3 to 6 months away? Hi, how are you?
Hey, for you?
Yes, for us, yes.
Okay.
You want to,
Yeah, I got it.
do you mind?
No.
And then have a plan, your daily, weekly calls, your meaningful conversations, time block, which we're going to give you the time blocking calendar. And really work your database. The best opportunities are right in your CRM. Because those people already love you. And I have oftentimes had a hard time contacting somebody that I did a mortgage for 10 years ago that I haven't called in 10 years. But I've been doing it lately now that I have my business coach, and she's like, Julia, they're gonna be like, wow, I haven't heard from you in so long, but people are happy about that. So it's not as awkward as I thought it was. It won't be for you either. So marketing presentations. Putting together your marketing presentations and being prepared. Calling your past clients and telling them this is not a real estate call. I just wanted to call and see how you're doing. Do you need any prescriptions picked up? Do you need any help with groceries? Is there anything around the house that I can help you with if it's somebody that's older? And here's another one. Hey, I wanted to check in, and could be a text. I hope you and the family are doing great. I've been lining up virtual meetings to answer questions, determine the right action plan, and help prepare my clients as the social distancing fades away and we get back to normal. Would you let me know if you'd like to schedule a time to chat? I'm here to support you and any questions or concerns you have. Might as well use it. And here's more. Text messaging opportunities, housing market updates. If we get our ducks in a row early, there's going to be some opportunity to get ahead of the competition. And you will get these scripts as well. And as your mortgage professionals, Jeff always recommends that they go ahead, if they're not buying in 6 months, 9 months, let's go ahead and pull credit if they think there's anything on there that needs to be corrected or helped, because we can literally line by line on the credit report tell them, if you pay down such and such credit card to under such and such amount, we can literally give them a dollar amount. We can tell them how much that will make their score go up. So somebody that might not qualify today, we can get them above 600 when the time comes, 6 to 9 months down the road. So preparing now. Offer education. The reason for my call is that there's a lot of misinformation, confusion about what's going on in the real estate. I'm reaching out to all of my clients and future clients like yourself to educate and inform them on what's really occurring in the real estate market. I'm curious what questions you have about the real estate market right now. And embrace technology. Consumers expect it. 33% of home buyers today are millennials. Millennials will go and they will Google your business page. They want to know how many reviews you have. They want to know how many people are following you on your business page. They want to know who you are by using the social media. and 33% of home buyers wish their agent has leveraged technology to better streamline the process. So we have a co-branded app, and we can put your picture on it first, our picture on it, and it has a pricing calculator in it. It has all kinds of useful information. The millennials love it. Love it, love it. So we'd be happy to share that. So how many, are you guys doing Zoom coffees or anything with potential customers? Or are you meeting in face-to-face for the most part?
Still meeting face to face. I honestly thought that there would be more Zoom and more virtual showings and more of that, but they're still touchy feely. They want to be present.
Yeah, they do.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'll walk through the house for you. And like, I want to be. I'm like, all right, mask up.
Okay. I hear that a lot. I have agents that don't want to meet in person. I was thrilled that you guys were okay with us coming, and because I think relationships are built by seeing someone, knowing who they are, knowing if they have children, are they married, are they not married, do they own a home, do they not own a home. But I also have clients that are like, nope, let's do a Zoom meeting.
Well, personally, I already had the Dawn disease, so I'm less crazy now.
Yeah.
Going.
Thank goodness it's all over and done, right? So adapting, solve a problem, and innovate. So what about video home tours? Video FaceTime and 3D virtuals. Virtual open houses. I do see
I did
people doing
those in
those.
the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still see people doing them now. The future of property viewing is here. So here's one service that you can utilize is Astaroom. Are you guys familiar with Astaroom? It allows you to do that 3D virtual tour. And I'm going to kind of give you guys some different tools that you can utilize for this type of technology. But that's a really good one.
Looks like they're competing with like Matterport and kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
It honestly looks cleaner than Matterport.
Yeah.
That one does.
Yeah, so take a look at Astaroom. Then there's Astaroom Pano Kit. And it's just a little kit. It comes with a little kit. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it directly on their site. And here you're going to see what it does. And I see these a lot where they're actually showing you what the whole house looks like, the layout of the inside of the home, which is kind of cool.
I wonder if that's what my photographer just said, that he's going to do floor plans now.
Okay. It very well could be. And then see how it kind of turns, and you can see, oh wow, look at that backyard. And inside the house and around.
So you actually go in there with this little camera gizmo thing, and you take it, and then it makes one of these things.
Yeah, and then, for your out-of-state buyers,
That's awesome.
you can
That is
literally
awesome.
walk through the home, show them exactly what it looks like.
So I wonder, from the buyer side, I do this for a listing without a doubt.
Yeah.
On the buyer side, I don't know if you know the answer. How quick can you do one of those?
I
Or
don't
is
know.
that
I don't know.
you have to do it, and then there's a lot of editing going on. and then
Usually it takes to do the scans. This is what I've done Matterport a lot, which is
Okay.
similar. Like I said, this looks a little better, but took me about for 1,000 square foot house, 1,400 square foot. Took about 30 to 40 minutes to do all the pictures,
Okay.
and then it takes a couple hours for it to process.
Okay, so this is not something that you can go view 5 homes, do one of these, and then send it to your out of town. Well, it's
Yeah,
going to take
it'd take a while.
No, we're good.
But then Astaroom is compatible with these 360 cameras, which is the Ricoh V, the Ricoh Z1, and the Insta360 One X. And all of those are available on Amazon. So here's another opportunity. Show them the whole picture, and this is easily display 360s and virtual tours for real estate listings and sites. And this is a Momento 360 is the name of this one. It's just another opportunity.
Memento 360.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and we'll make sure you have the slides too. But
Yeah,
check
that-
them out.
The one thing that I've seen online a lot, that I guess they're using like a 360, and then when you see the picture, it's like all like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the I'm about to throw up. It's a weird bubble. Yeah, that's
Yes.
somebody just using
That's
the
somebody
phone.
using their phone. It's a panorama.
It's a
But these look
panoramic.
professional.
No,
like
no, no,
this
no,
will
no.
look a lot better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What those cameras do is they actually have 2 cameras on each side. So it takes a picture here, takes a picture here,
And then it puts
and then it does just they scroll. So it looks normal, but they scroll around the room.
It
And
doesn't
the,
look like a fishbowl.
yeah. And the little tool that she showed earlier, which I'll go back for the people online here.
yeah, that one.
That one is, it sits on a tripod, I'm guessing, and you push a button and the app controls it and spins
Yeah.
it around.
Spins it around the room. Yeah, for sure. So what can you do virtually? You can review properties. You can conduct a listing presentation, have a buyer consult. You can go over the inspection report with a client, and you can write an offer together. And even if we weren't in a pandemic, if you had an out-of-state buyer that you just haven't met in person, that would be a nice touch to get on a Zoom call with them and go over the inspection report or whatever with them. They would think that we have gone above and beyond by doing that. Or even your lender getting on with you and doing the introduction of getting pre-approved, and then you remove yourself from the call if you know, if they're not comfortable with you knowing their personal information or whatever. So what resources do you have available to you to make sure that you get out there and get known? We talked about a couple of them, but you also have Zoom. We touched on BombBomb with the videos, touched on YouTube, Cloud CMA, and Keeping Current Matters. And then of course Facebook Live. So in closing, it's important that we monitor our mindset and have the right mindsets. We want to be of service to our consumers, our potential customers, our community, our friends, our family. We want to work together. We want to really be intentional about time blocking our time. We want to make sure that we have context and confidence in all that we do. Keep nurturing all of our relationships. Be very patient, be very prepared, and of course follow health protocols. And Jim Rohn said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." So, do you guys have questions for me?
No, you did it so good.
Well, thank you. I like doing these. I miss doing these. Yeah, this is the fun part of what we do, is getting out and meeting people. And I think all of us high I personalities, you know the DISC, are you guys familiar with the DISC? You got the
Yes.
high D, who's the driver, the I's are the ones that love everybody and want everybody to love them, which is what most salespeople are.
Yeah.
And then you have the S, which is, S's are very team-oriented, goal-oriented, and then your C's are compartmentable, and they like everything to be organized, and they're probably your great admins, your transaction coordinators of the world. So, well, lunch is served, and for those of you that are on the Zoom call, I'm sorry that you're not here to have lunch with us, but we hope to meet you in person very soon.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely. And we have these type of training